Yeah, I believe it. And I'm also hoping to believe that we'll have baseball this year, but I have the distinct feeling it's going to be condensed. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Manic Monday edition of Snowman in the Morning. We are presented by Michael Scott Insurance. I'm going to be looking at two cameras here because I'm working on improving the setup. So please forgive me well in advance. For those of you on the video feed, you will hear my voice and eventually Cole Johnson's voice, but you will not hear all the breaks as I'm working to connect everything. And we're happy to have you. We're happy to have you with us. So let's just get right to it. We're on the On Tap Podcast Network as well as Real Wise Radio and Arena Sportsnet. Jay Spivey will join me at the bottom of our number 2. And I don't know what to make of what the hell happened this past weekend, especially in college basketball. We'll get to that later in the week. Cole Johnson now joins me. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine, man. I'm feeling good. I'm smelling good.
Unlike did you take the week? Did you take the weekend away? Because you sent me one gem and then I didn't hear back from you, and I'm thinking, okay, Cole just said, screw this. I'm going down for the weekend. I'm staying home.
I pretty much shut it down. It's like, okay, I think I'm gonna take this weekend and spend time with the missus, and everything was good. So yeah, great weekend.
Good, very good, very good. Yeah. Off we go on a Monday, and why are people still disrespecting the Chicago Bulls? Yes, they're 4-6 against the West. Yes, they're 2-8 against the East, which is what people want to harp on, but they have the 5th best record in the league. Okay, what the hell is wrong with people? Why don't they pay attention? I need to.
You're not gonna like my answer.
Please give your honest answer. That's what we do here.
All right. Who is their superstar?
In my eyes, DeMar DeRozan.
In my eyes too, that's the same answer. However, in the eyes of casual NBA fan,
you said the key word.
Yeah,
you said the key word, casual.
That and those who claim to know the NBA. Unfortunately,
we seem to say that a lot lately, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
That those who claim to know the NBA.
Yeah. The answer is nobody, and that's what's sad about it, because what they're missing is they're missing a team. Wonderful word to say in basketball. I was missing it. Other than the Warriors, I was missing that for a minute. They play like a team.
Yeah, there's your key word right there.
Yeah, they play like a team.
Them and the Warriors and the Suns and the Grizzlies, and even though we got beat by the Grizzlies at home,
yeah,
the Grizzlies ain't no joke, man.
They ain't a joke.
The Grizzlies the Grizzlies may mess around and wind up being the yes.
They may knock some teams off in playoffs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Hey, back to the Bulls. See, the Grizzlies and the Bulls are the same team as far as I'm concerned.
But
one superstar, John Morant for the Grizz, DeMar DeRozan for the Bulls, and no one cares.
Yeah, and what sucks, and what sucks is in bypassing that, in lieu of wanting to see, in lieu of the sports media and the claim to be in a no NBA fan salivating over whoever the Lakers play next, or when the next time the Nets and the Sixers are playing, they are really.
And I got some ish about the 76ers, but go on, please.
People are really missing. They're missing a really good candidate for this year's MVP in the Bulls, DeMar DeRozan. They're missing it because he is putting it together. This is easily his best year in the NBA, and he has a team that,
and remember, for the longest time, And remember, for the longest time, he was the man in Toronto.
Yeah.
He was one of the men in Toronto.
Yeah,
Come on.
He was one man in Toronto. But unlike his situation with the Raptors, we actually are seeing a team in the Bulls who are taken to him, and he's taken on the responsibility of lifting the team at times by himself, and he's taken on the responsibility of making sure that others know that they have the same capability too. And you could tell by how the others are playing around him, and
Yep.
through some injury, through
Mm-hmm.
chemistry, I won't say problems, but through chemistry workings, because sometimes, you know, when you have a new team, it doesn't always mesh right off the bat. And it did to a degree with them, but you
Yeah.
stumble. Because people don't know, this is really the first full year with this whole team together. So,
Yeah.
you know,
This is
with
the first
injuries,
full year with this team.
yeah.
Billy Donovan's working his
Johnson.
magic.
Yeah. So even with the injuries and working through chemistry, trying to find out who does what, who plays in what role best for the team, to say that you actually have the capability of coming out the East, that is saying a lot. And
yeah.
And of course, yes, the East is loaded, but you know something? I would take my chances being one game off of the best record in the East.
I would definitely take my chances.
And the next day is March, any day of the year. So, yeah, they should be.
I would definitely take my chances with this Bulls team than any other team in the East. That includes Philadelphia. That includes New Jersey. And I'm not correcting that anymore. I'm not correcting it anymore. I'm not going to correct that anymore because, quite frankly, they should have stayed in New Jersey, but I got heat for them a little bit later. Back to this Bulls team.
All right, so
you said two key words.
Okay.
Chemistry and team.
Yeah.
Doesn't it remind you of 1991? Or the struggle and
the struggle before 1991?
These stands are pissing me off by bringing up these. Oh, Jesus.
I would probably
I
would probably say this Bulls team is probably reminiscent of the 1990 squad.
Yeah,
where
they go all the way to a seventh game,
right? You
can against the Detroit Pistons, and I was watching some of those games. I was watching some of those games this weekend.
It's like they remind me of those team that team, and 2012 they had it all together until Rose got injured.
Until Derrick Rose was injured.
And in 2011 they had the number 1 seed, but I won't talk about what happened at the end of that. But I'd probably say
we both digress after 2011.
Yeah,
we both digress.
But I'd probably say this Bulls team, they remind me a lot of the 1990 squad and a little bit of the 2010 squad, where you could see there's pieces, and if they match up against the right teams, they can go pretty far. They go very far.
Absolutely.
And they are and they will show that they aren't scared of the toughest competition.
Yep.
That to me is where they are now. And unfortunately, since they don't have the sexy name, since they don't have the sexy superstar player who does superstar sexy things, you don't get talked about, and it's unfortunate. But
it's quite really unfortunate.
Good. Yeah, it is.
It's quite unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. Yeah, but this Bulls team is good.
But this Bulls team is really good. Yeah.
Make no mistake, this Bulls team is good. All right. Now, they could be a year off from winning a world title. But damn it, I said, and you were with me at the top of this season, remind me of the two teams I selected to play in the Eastern Conference Finals Memorial Day weekend. Remind me of those two teams, please.
Let's see. It's the Heat and the Sixers. No. It was the Sixers and the Nets. No. It was the Celtics and Raptors. No. It was the Bucks and the Bulls.
Because the Bulls are a young team that are going to piss some teams off.
And the Bucks are the defending world champs.
Period. Yeah. And that was my exact explanation. I had a Sixers stand come after me.
Oh, this is going to be good.
You're 0-3 against my Sixers. and we're not fully healthy. Bitch, it's the regular season. You don't have any proof. 1989. 0-6 against the Detroit Pistons, yet we took them to 6 games in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, this is where this young Bulls team may be, but doggone it, I will take my chances.
Look,
I'll take my chances.
If for any and forgive me for the steering in a different direction, but any fan that gives me, well, you see what they're doing in the regular season, and how how this is going to be indicator of how the thing's going to go in the playoffs. I look no further, and I could do it with the Bulls too, and I will the second example. I don't have to look any further than the 2018 season where the Rockets beat the Warriors 2 out of 3 games.
Yep.
So I'm thinking, okay, well, they should be able. I won't say they've handled the Warriors. So I say, well, if they have home court advantage, they have everything they need, and there would be any excuses for them to beat the Warriors.
Period.
Yeah. So what happened?
Period.
After they got up 3-2, they wet the bed in game 6 in the third quarter, and they wet the bed in game 7 in the third quarter, and they lost the series. So regular season is not an indicator of how the player's going to go. A Bulls example is probably make you smile. 1989, when they played against the Cavaliers swept the Bulls, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 6-0.
6 games to none.
Yeah, 16-0. So the Cavaliers beat the Bulls all 6 games in the regular season. Remind me what happened when they met in the playoffs in the first round of that year.
Bulls go up 2-0. Bulls split in Cleveland.
Yeah, they split.
Split in the stadium. And then Michael Jordan changes the Cavaliers franchise forever on May 7th, 1989 with The Shot. And don't hand me this LBJ stuff, rescuing the Cavs franchise. I will say it. I will say it again, and I will continue to say it about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Everybody wants to say, well, LeBron's their legacy. Bullshit. You know what the legacy of the Cleveland Cavaliers? Wayne frickin' Embry.
Man, people sleep so hard on the late 80s Cavaliers and early 90s Cavaliers because they forget.
Well, you know why they sleep.
They forget that Cavaliers team. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals in 1992. They forget that. That's
and
just
lost in 6 games to the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, they forget that. They forget. They forget
the same team that stretched the Bulls to 5 games in 1989 stretched them to 6 games with a spot in the World Championship on the line in 1992. Yeah, same team.
Yeah, people forget when the Bulls were on their ascension, the Cavs were on their ascension too, and the Bulls just got there earlier, and of course they sustained themselves. And the Cavs, they were that next team where the Bulls had to look at them and say, okay, well. We probably have to play some of our best basketball to fend them off.
Yep.
The Cavs.
Say that again, please. Say that again, please.
Oh, I mean,
they had to play their what?
They had to play some of their best game just to fend them off. Because that's the mentality you got to have. I mean, that's the mentality
absolutely
had against the Bulls, where it's like, okay, we see them as we see them as next. We want to crush their spirit as much as we can to make sure that they aren't now. So, in the Pistons did it to the Bulls 3 straight years, and then the 4th year,
the Bulls figured it out.
The Bulls figured it out. The clock struck midnight for the Pistons, and the Bulls saw that this was happening with the, and I just hate the fact people just focus on the Knicks and they don't even think about the Cavs or the Pacers
or the Indiana Pacers.
But the Bulls had to look at, okay, which teams are next? Okay, we see the Knicks, we see the Cavs, we see the Pacers. And they had to have a different mentality. They had to say, okay, how we got here, we have to actually be more tenacious and more dogmatic to keep being here because they want what we have. And we know what it's like to want what someone else has, and they knocking us off.
I remember the immortal words of one Johnny Kerr. If you're hot, you're hitting. If you're not, you're due. And in the 90s, the Bulls were long overdue. They were overdue, and they finally got their due.
Yeah.
All right, we got to pause for a break, but when we come back, poor Lakers, not
Poor Lakers?
Poor Lakers. You heard what I said. I did not stutter, nor will I stutter.
Oh.
Poor Lakers. Not. This is Snowman in the Morning on the On Tap Podcast Network, Arena Sportsnet, and Real Wise Radio, presented by Michael Scott Insurance.
Oh, Lakers, no.